this is for both of you. Tell us your take on the clown characters.
Oh. Well, first of all, I love that you had such a really wonderful female strong character. So I definitely really enjoyed kind of more of like the feminist aspect, you know, like I feel like she kind of wanted to take control of things, and she was doing it in like a really crazy delusional love thing. But at the same time, you know, she was powerful and strong and completely crazy.
Did you identify with aspects of her? Not the craziness.
Only the craziness.
Oh, the craziness. Okay.
But yeah, no. But she was also a romantic.
True.
Well, the clown was obviously a romantic as well.
Right. Right.
Because what's more romantic than approaching a strange woman on the pedestrian bridge in the middle of the night in Salem and touching her hair? That's kind of, I mean, that's basic playbook right there. No, the clown, he was a very fun character. For a number of reasons, not least of which was wandering around in McMinnville at night having people ask me if I was into Insane Clown Posse.
I remember that.
Yeah, that's
The Juggalo comment.
Yeah, the Juggalo comment by the stoned skaters underneath the Human Services building. That was
And somewhere floating around, there's like a selfie of you guys.
Yeah, they had me. They wanted to have their picture taken with me. That was my star moment.
I got a Juggalo comment too.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
You can't be a clown without being a juggalo, I guess. But no, it was, there was something very freeing. Partially the makeup, because I felt great coming in and sitting down here today, is from the picture that was on the screen, there was no way you would have known that was me. I'm not balding nearly that much. But it was, there was something freeing with just the physicality of the character and the craziness of the character and kind of letting go, because I can be, in my personal life, can be a little bit more restrained. And just being able to let go, and the dancing and the jumping around and the voice that we came up with for him, which you only heard a little bit of. There was so much more voice work that we need to make do like a electronica mix and sample some of the quotes from me, because some of it was pretty crazy.
Like a dubstep.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was such a wonderful, freeing experience, and not just because of the killing, although that was a lot of fun. It was just that, for example, that night we walked around in McMinnville, we got a lot of B-roll and different things.
Right.
And I got to interact with the environment. My favorite, was it you that I pushed down the...
Yeah, we found a shopping cart that was hanging out in your gallery theater, and I got in and you were pushing me around.
Yeah, because there was that one scene where I kill him at the very beginning, and then there was this whole sequence that didn't get used of me pushing him down the alleyway in the back of a shopping cart and dancing and doing a little jig, and so that was a lot of fun. So there was a lot of expression and performance art, and it was very liberating. So yeah.
And see, that was the hard thing too, because it's like, I have all this good footage of both Evelyn and Chris doing stuff, and it's just like you got to make that decision, and it could have been 20 minutes of just you clowning around.
Yeah, we could have an entirely Fellini-esque. Fellini did the clown. But that's, I don't envy Roman his job of, he shot so much footage, and then he had to choose what gets shown, what is used to tell the story, and that's, for a director, and an editor, that's a very hard process, because you have a lot of decisions you have to make.
Yeah.
So
much good to separate from,
Well, especially when you have Evelyn and I, because there was not a single bad take.
No, there was not.
Which is good, because many of them were just single takes.
If we don't stop the snot that's running out of your face from the cold, it's good. Yeah.
Yeah, we had to do the touch-ups, the makeup touch-ups.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Evelyn, what are the most challenging aspects of acting for you?
Mostly my face. No, seriously, weather conditions are for real. A lot of this was filmed, I'm in like this little clown outfit, and it was really cold, sometimes like late in November out in that park. And so, I think probably just being able to be uncomfortable in general is difficult, and part of what it takes too. But maybe just kind of having your own sort of ideas about what the character reflects, and then having to work with other people and deal with other people's suggestions, and
that kind of dialogue that you have with like the director
Yeah,
and
yeah.
about the approach to act
right,
it.
because you read a script and you sort of go into some place and you're like, oh, it's going to sound like this, and then there's other people like, oh, you can't stand there, and you don't want to sound like this. And so yeah, basically just like trying to use whatever you have, what tools you have to convey a message can be probably challenging.
Chris, I have this question for you. What is the difference between working on stage and working on camera?
About $700 an hour. Stage is very organic. You're telling an entire story at one time. When you're doing a play, it has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it all happens in a series and a flow. And there's a great satisfaction from being able to tell an entire story from beginning to end. On film, you don't get that. You shoot out of sequence generally, sometimes 6 or 8 months out of sequence. But there's so much subtlety that you can get from film and television that you don't get on stage. On stage, the audience is always 10, 15, 20 feet away. On film and television, you can get right up, and so much can be conveyed by the twitch of an eyebrow or the quirk of your mouth or whatever. So all of those different expressions can really come into it. So there's a lot of differences between them. They're all storytelling, but you approach them in such very different ways.
What inspiration do you take playing any of the roles that you've done? What kind of inspiration do you use for your characters?
I think aside from all of your experience and everything that you've watched and seen and every person you've met, there is also this other sort of weird, mystical, creative blob that you can pull from that just is trying to create something that doesn't really exist. I feel like with the clown character, we were sort of trying to at least, not mimic too much of the other sort of like, evil women characters or evil clowns.
Trying to make it a little more unique,
Right, yeah. So, I think trying to pull something that you've never done before and something that, you could possibly be without, actually pulling from reality is part of the fun of it, too.
I pull inspiration from a lot of different places. I've watched a lot of film, from the classic to the, oh my God, why did I watch that? And from people around me, I've used friends and family and characters from plays and characters from movies and experiences from my past. I've pulled from all of those things for different characters. Sometimes it's very hard. Obviously with the clown, that's not something I do like every weekend. And I've played other evil characters in the past, and so you have to find something to make it real within you.
What advice would you give for anybody wanting to get into acting?
You want to take it? You take it.
Sure. Don't do it. The competition's too much. We don't like it. No, just do it. just go out and make shit, make films, do whatever you want. You know, don't think about it too much. Just go do. You know, if you want to take classes and stuff, because that's fun and awesome, do that too. But just go make stuff. And see if anybody likes it.
The best advice that I was ever given about a career in acting was when I was in college, and was told, if you can do anything else and be happy, do it. It's work. But if it's in your blood, don't let anyone dissuade you from pursuing your dream. There are so many opportunities out there. You don't have to do it professionally, because we don't need the competition. There are community theaters. I mean, here in Salem, there's like 4 different or 5 different organizations that you can do things with, from Pentacle, which has been here for 64 years, to Homegrown Theater out in Kaiser, Verona Studio. There's so many opportunities. If you haven't done it and you think you might be interested, go to an audition, get in, work backstage even to start with, familiarize yourself with it, do it. There's nothing holding you back. You don't have to decide that it's what you're going to do with your life, but there's nothing to compare with taking that risk and putting yourself out there, and the reward that you get back from that, even if nobody sees it, is that you've stretched yourself and you've done something that maybe you didn't think you could do, and it's totally worth it.
Thank you again, Evelyn and Chris, for giving your words of wisdom and time of clown information.
You're very welcome. This was super fun.